Hi, welcome to the call, everyone. This is our Monday night leadership training. We have Teresa Catania tonight who's going to do the training for us. We're going to talk a little bit about how to ask someone to take a look at Isogenics for the products and the business, and then also how to conduct a proper three-way call. So I'm going to ask you guys to make sure you have your telephones muted so she can go through the training that we have in our back office files, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. And if you need me, I'm here as well.
Hi, everybody. How are you? How's everyone doing tonight? Okay, like Susie said, we wanted to go through some of the basics that I think, especially new people, I think, we go to work to overcomplicate this business. And I believe that if we just take it back to the basics, it's not that hard. It's work. It's a simple business, but if we just go back to fundamentals and just take it step by step, it's not that hard. So, especially for new people, I always tell them, and even if you are seasoned in this business and you've been with us for a few years, but especially for new people, I always tell my new people, your only job right now is to ask people to take a look at what we have. And it's just inviting them to take a look at this company, whether it be, the products or the business opportunity. So, and that's really it. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute or so. But Heidi Bergkemper, she has an amazing website that she put together with her and her husband. And, there's great verbiage there. There's a couple of videos there that she did. One is Lynn Hagedorn. It's like a 3-minute video. She really goes through step by step on how to ask people to take a look at what we have. And it's just really setting up the appointment to go back to them to provide the information and maybe set up that 3-way call. But I'm just going to share my screen. Just bear with me. I've never did this before here. Let me see. 1 second. Let's see if this works. Okay. I'm just going to move this down. Can you guys see my screen?
It worked.
Okay, good. I'm not very tech savvy here. Okay. So the website that Heidi has, and I love using this and going to use this website for some of the tools, but I'm going to just show you where you can find verbiage on how to ask people to take a look. So if you go to theisodreamteam.com, and if you click on Toolbox, go to Step-by-Step Prosperity, click on that, and then you're going to click the link, Step-by-Step to Prosperity. And here, you're going to see these links here. And the first step is to invite people to take a look. So I'm just going to click on that. And it's all here for you. So up here on the top, Heidi Bergkemper does a quick video on how to invite people to take a look at the business. Lynn Hagedorn has a quick one here. And it's so simple. So when you guys have time, go through this. I think it's a great resource for us to have. But I'm just going to scroll down. And when you have time, you can go through all of this. But I'm just going to scroll down to get to some of the verbiage. How to invite someone. And a lot of this business is belly to belly. Yes, sometimes we send text messages to people, or we might send an email or a Facebook private message. But I find that when you actually have a conversation with someone, they hear the excitement in your voice, and it just makes all the difference. So right here, invitation to set up an introductory call with your board of directors, let's just say. And those, when she talks about board of directors, those are just, maybe your top 10 to 20 people that you really want to reach out to immediately. Those are the people that you really thought of first, that you want to join you in the business, or that they're going to be interested in products, or they're your top 20 people. I'm just going to click here, and it's going to bring us to some verbiage. And I'm just going to kind of go through this, and here's the verbiage. It's so simple, and the purpose of this call is not to get into detail of what Isogenics is. It's not to provide the information. The purpose of this call, again, is to invite people to take a look and then getting and setting an appointment for a 20-minute call so that you can get this person, your prospect, on the phone with either the person who sponsored you, your coach, or someone else, on your team, or anyone sidelines that you think this person will resonate with, and setting up that three-way call. So, and it's all here. Hi, my name, hi, let's say Susie. Listen, I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to catching up, but I'm calling for a specific reason today. Do you have just a minute? And honestly, this call should really take you a minute or so. And just right here, I wanted to let you know that I started a new business with a product that I believe everyone can benefit from. And I'm looking for a few key people. I thought of you immediately because, and let them know why you thought of them. Compliment them and share why you thought of them. It can be, you're a visionary, you're health conscious, you're an entrepreneurial, like whatever that is for them, share with them why you thought of them. And then you can say, I have no idea what I'm so excited about will resonate with you, but would you be open to scheduling a 20-minute call so I can give you a brief overview of what I'm up to these days? And most of the time, if it's a yes, you can say, great, it means a lot to me. Even if this is something, isn't something that interests you, you might just know the person who would this be right for. And especially now for the new people, and this is great because you have a reason to maybe bring someone else in to help you and let them know. But you can just tell them, as I'm getting going, the more people that know about what I'm doing, the better. And just set up that appointment. Give them a couple of times that you're available and set the appointment. And if they're really open to about it, let me see here. Yeah. So when they're open to setting the appointment, the next thing you want to do is get the permission from them to schedule that three-way call with your sponsor, your coach, or whoever you're doing that three-way call with. And you can say, and my friend Susie, you don't want to say, I like to keep, setting a three-way call very casual. You don't want to make it so business-like, I feel. You don't, especially for someone who just wants to learn more maybe about product, but keep it casual. You can say, my friend Susie, she's helping me learn the ropes as I'm getting started. She's the one that helped me get started. And I always like to say, I don't want to do you a disservice, and I want to make sure I get all your questions answered. So would it be okay if I got my friend Susie on the phone with us, since I'm new and I'm just getting started? There's no pressure. Would it be okay? And get the permission from your prospect. And if it's a no, if they're not open to getting on the phone, you can say, that's fine. I appreciate you you're comfortable enough to tell me and be honest with me. But if it's something that may change in the future, we could always follow up. And if they are open to it, set the appointment. And it's that simple. And then the next step is, getting on that three-way call. And the purpose for the three-way call, there's so many different amazing benefits to do it. I really feel like it's an amazing tool that a lot of us don't utilize the way we should. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. It is a tool that we don't utilize as much as we should. There's so many different benefits. One of them is, again, especially if you're new, even if you're not new, it takes the pressure off for the new person and off of the prospect, because you don't have to know everything there is to know. And it's also a great way for the new person starting in this business to learn what to say, how to overcome objections and things like that. And there's so many different reasons why, and it's also too, you want to make sure this business, you want to be able to duplicate yourself. It shows the prospect, if they ever decided to do this as a business as well, that they would have the same support. And also, prospects and people that you're sharing this with, they sometimes it's better to hear from a third party than it is to hear it from you. Because I know for me, I had friends and family, people closest to me, as much as I shared this opportunity with them or shared these products with them, and they even saw my results, it didn't matter. Sometimes they resonate with someone else's story. So the more testimonials that your prospect hears, other than yours, sometimes that makes all the difference. So definitely utilize the three-way as much as you can. So I'm going to share my screen again. And these are files that we have on our Team Heart file tab. Give me just a second. This file right here is in our Team Heart file tab. And we have so many resources back there. So whenever you guys have time, just take a look, scroll through. But this is something that Michael Klaus put together. And it just takes you step by step, the guidelines for setting up a three-way call. And just to quickly go through this, again, as to why we need to do three-way calls, because sometimes our prospect needs to hear it from someone else, and as to why Isagenix is something good to take a look at. And first, you want to make sure that on your phone you know how to do a three-way call, because there's nothing worse than trying to set it up or connect to someone and you're just not sure what to do. So really get familiar with your phone and how to do it. A lot of us know how. But before the call, if you're someone who's been in the business, before you get your sponsor on the phone with you to help you or setting up the call, make sure that you've connected with your prospect, you set the appointment, and you follow up. And then bring your coach or sponsor, whoever you're asking to do the three-way call with you, on the phone at that point. For someone who is new, I always like to do the first 5 to 10 phone calls with my new business builder, because it really, it gives them a chance to learn by listening to me or whoever's doing the call for them. It helps them to learn, again, what to say, how to ask the questions, find out what their goals are, what they're looking for, and really building that rapport. So if you're new in this business, reach out to your sponsor, whoever brought you into this business, your coach, have them help you do the first 5 to 10 phone calls with you, with the people on your list. And but again, going back to people who've been in this business, make sure you've connected with them, you set the appointment, and you followed up. The other thing I'd rather the person do is also share a video with the prospect before asking me to get on the phone with them, because you want to make sure they've seen something. And again, the purpose of the call is to provide additional credibility. Basically, if I can do this, so can you. And, it's duplicatable, because we don't have to know everything there is to know about this business, about these products. There's always someone else there to support us. We direct them to the information. We don't have to know everything. So so now going back to the call, you set up the call, you call your prospect, and then you bring in your coach or your sponsor or that person doing the three-way call for you. And the most important thing is making sure you edify the person doing the call for you, as well as your prospect. So there's an example here. Lisa, it's Michael. I have Mary Smith on the line with us. Barry and I go back for the last few days. Mary's been looking at the business. Mary watched the video you can share the story now as a video that you can use, but whatever video that you shared with them, you would just say that. And they spent some time watching the other videos. Mary mentioned she has a few questions about whatever that is. And I suggested that you can answer her question. Now, Mary, now you want to edify the prospect. So now, Mary, allow me to introduce you to Lisa. And you want to now edify your sponsor and upline. So then at that point, what you want to do, so if you asked your sponsor, whoever doing the call with you, what you want to do at that point, and it's so important, you want to make sure you mute yourself out and you let the person doing the call for you take over the call. Getting to know your prospect, asking the questions, and just really bringing them to a close. and just sit back and listen. But just to backtrack, whenever I do a three-way call for someone, I like for the person, my business builder, to call me maybe a few minutes before, just to really give me a quick overview of the person that we're going to be getting on the phone with, tell me a little bit about them, what they're looking for, and just some information about that person. But again, make sure you mute yourself out and let your sponsor or the person doing the call for you, that's it. Because if there's nothing worse than interrupting, and it really takes credibility away from the person doing the call from you. So you really want to make sure you just sit back and just simply listen and learn as much as you possibly can. So now at the end of the call, your sponsor will turn control of the call back over to you. And it might sound something like this, and it's all here for us to really refer to. You know, Mary, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you this evening. Michael and I work very close together, and he can show you step by step for success that we're using. I'll go ahead and let the two of you finish up. And you can also even say, you know, is there anything else I can answer for you? Is there something that I didn't answer for you? And you just turn the call, you know, I would turn the call back over to the person on my team. So that's basically it. You know, again, you want to utilize this tool, and a lot of us, you know, don't do it. And especially for someone new, I feel like it's going to help that new person learn what to say, how to overcome the objections. It's duplicatable. It lets that prospect know if they were to decide to do this, that they would have the same support, and it's duplicatable. So there's so many reasons why we should do this, and it's the most unutilized tool. I know that, you know, I'm guilty of it myself. I mean, for so long, I felt like I know how to answer the questions. I know how to answer about products. I'll direct them to this answer or to that answer. And it wasn't until recently that I started asking Susie to do calls for me, and actually reached out for the help, because I want my prospect to know that they don't need to know everything, and that they would have that same support. But I mean, I hope this, I'm going to unshare this screen, but this document is available in our Team Heart Files page. Like I said, there's so many resources there. I don't know if anyone knows that they're there or not, but take a look when you guys have a few minutes. But I'm going to open this up to any questions. The other thing before I open it up, if someone's not interested, if it's not the right time for them, you know, after the three-way call and you're trying to bring it to a close and it's just not for them right now. And when someone says no, it's not for them, to me that means not right now. Always go back, always expose them to something else. But again, if they come back to you and say it's not for them, always, and again, I'm guilty of this myself, I don't do this as much as I should, ask for referrals. This business is all about word of mouth. And if it's not for them right now, ask them. Say, listen, you know, this business, I base my business off of referrals. If you know of anyone that might benefit from this, I mean, we also have in the files tab a list of questions for asking for referrals. I mean, that's back there for us. You know, who do you know that wants to change their health right now? Who do you know that wants to feel better, shed unwanted pounds? You know, who do you know that's entrepreneurial? Who do you know that needs extra money? We have a whole list of questions here. So definitely utilize what we have, you know, and asking for referrals is key. And I know even for myself, I don't do it as much as I should. So these are things that I know that came up for me that I just wanted to share that I'm not doing as much as I should. So I'm going to open this up to questions.
Teresa, before you open it up to
Yeah.
questions, can I just say, all of these files also I have duplicated, and they are in the Team Evolution files as well, for those of you who might be on Team Evolution and are confused, like, where are these files? What's the Team Heart page? Not to add another page to your list, but I've duplicated those files and placed them in the Team Evolution files as well. So if you guys have any questions or can't find them, just message me and I'll make sure that I tag you in those files as well. And just to reiterate something that Teresa was talking about, Teresa, you did a great job explaining the three-way calls. It's never too late to use the three-way call. So even if you've been in the business a really long time, like Teresa was saying, I feel like if you feel like you're stuck and things aren't moving the way that you should, utilize it. It doesn't have to be your upline or your direct upline. Find someone that relates to the person that you're speaking to. We've done this so many times. I know Silva has people that used to own restaurants, and I've talked to them for her, or business owners. I know that, I've had Stephen talk to people for me. So it doesn't really matter. I still utilize the three-way telephone calls. And, for me, of course, Lisa's my sponsor and she's always busy. So I've always tried to, find somebody that relates with that person and, take that third-party validation to another level. And it's so important. What you said is I always coach people when I'm doing calls for them, 5 minutes before the call, let me talk to you before then. They're going to brief me really quickly on that person. But I always make sure to tell them to mute yourself out and just listen to the conversation. Make sure you take notes. And when I'm ready for you to be part of the conversation, I'm going to say, hey, listen, Steph, is there something that I didn't mention, or is there something else that you wanted to touch upon? And at that point, you can take over the conversation. And I feel like you're okay to close it yourself. Then I'll say, okay, guys, well, I'll let you guys talk. I'm going to jump on another call. Thank you so much. And if you guys have any questions, you can get back to me if that makes sense to you guys, or that was helpful.
Yeah, and the other thing, I just want to piggyback, you mentioned about taking notes. I did write that down as a bullet point that I wanted to touch upon, but taking notes, don't expect the person doing the call for you to take the notes. And the reason you want to take notes is you want to keep track of your conversations with people so that when you go to follow up with them, you want to follow up in the right way. So make sure you're always taking notes. And just keeping track of the conversation so you know how to follow up in the right way. So thanks, Susie.
Don't mind me. I just came from Zumba. I like sweaty.
I want to kind of reiterate again what Susie said. The three-way calls, they're great for new people, but also it may not mean that you feel you can't take it on yourself. You shouldn't look at it that way. It could just be like Susie said, for me, it's more about getting someone else that relates to that person's story. So you shouldn't always use even the same person to do your three-way calls. You got to think of the person and what they're going through. Like Susie said, I've had Stephen talked to Ashley's husband, Joe. We did a three-way together because I didn't want poor Joe to feel like he was the only rooster in the hen house, So I had them. We did a three-way call together. I've used Susie when it's for someone who business kind of took over their life. Ashley's great for someone who's going through a lot of anxiety and is anxious about doing the program. You have to think of each person and think of all of our stories. If there's someone who's really just down and out and done with life and really in a dark place, that was me, use me. So we have to really think of everybody's stories. And I really think it may be good to do one call where we each tell our stories so we all really kind of remember, and we jot that all down so that we know who would be the good fit for the three-way call that we want to do.
And Silva, that goes back to even what video you're going to share with that person too. Find something that's going to resonate with that person.
Yeah. And make sure they watch something before you get them on with the person, and definitely mute yourself out because you don't want to take that credibility away and interrupt.
And another thing that we've done this week that, not to interrupt you while you're talking, but Jamie and I did this week, and it was really, really good. And I think Ashley just started doing it with some of her people, is we opened up three-way text messages through inbox, through Messenger, for the people who don't want to get on the phone. And she's introducing me to those people and telling them that I want to find out about their product experience. And so then I'm asking questions as a three-way inbox, which is another great tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We've done that a bunch of times too.
Is this helpful for you guys? Anyone have any questions or want to share something?
I have a question.
Go
I'm
ahead.
full of questions today, Susie. How would you do the follow-up? And how many days after the three-way call?
Well, you hopefully want to get a close after the three-way. You hopefully want to get to the close, and hopefully that person can help you get there, the one that's helping you do the call. I never like to get off the phone with someone unless I set the next appointment. If it's someone that says, all right, I want to think about it, I need to research more about product, let's just say, I'll say, great, I refer them to isaproduct.com. They can find out all they need to know about product. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to give you a few days to do your research. When is a good time for us to circle back around and get back on the phone? And then I'll be able to answer more of your questions, because I'm sure they'll have more at that point. Never leave a call open-ended, or at least try not to. Always try to make the appointment for the next follow-up. Does that make any sense?
No, it does, because I actually had a call last week that I did with Steven, but it was setting her up for a family of 4. So he helps me figure out more of what they needed and ask questions that I didn't think to ask. So that was helpful. And then I had to go over pricing with her. But I felt like it's really confusing to explain the systems. A value pack isn't going to be enough for 4 people.
Yeah.
So I ended up making a video and sending it to her on a whiteboard and explaining to her the different packs and the pricing and how I felt would be the best way to get them started.
Okay.
And I sent it to her, and that way she could always go back and, show her husband also.
That's a great idea. That's awesome.
I just had to figure out how to shorten it. It was 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. You know what? You're learning as you're earning, right?
Yeah.
The best way to become a master is by practicing. Otherwise, and to reiterate something that Teresa said, and I feel like a lot of us are not doing this, like going back to old school and sending somebody a video that is appropriate for that person is so important. Like just picking that one video that you think would resonate with that one person and sending that personally to them and asking them to watch it, especially now with the ISA tools to go. That's so easy to see if they watched it, because once they watch it, you get a little text message that says your person, blah, 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 watched the video. Then you have a chance to say, hey, listen, I saw that you watched the video. When can we get on the phone? Now you have a follow-up tool for that. Anyone else? Questions? Hi, Liz. I'm happy to see her on the call tonight. Haven't seen you in a while. Ah, there's my baby. He's so cute.
He's adorable.
So good.
Susie, hi, it's Annette.
Hey, Annette.
Hi there. I don't know if anyone else is having this problem. For about a week, though, I have tried to get onto the isadreamteam.com, and I'm getting an error message. In fact, just yesterday.
It just went up today because she was revamping the site.
Okay, great.
It should be working.
Good to know. And the other thing, I spoke with someone last week